So hello friends, welcome to Aman Bedi channel. So today again I have a privilege and honor of having Prash Sir joining me all the way from UK. So welcome sir, welcome to Aman Bedi
Yes, nice
channel.
to be here, Aman. Nice to be here.
How are
Yes,
you? How's
I'm
things
doing
at your
fine.
end?
I'm doing fine with the PHI.
I I I always whenever I get the opportunity, I always see your post
Yeah,
in Mother Nature, especially at the rainbows.
yeah,
It's always a delight to
yes,
hear from you, to look at you. So, sir, welcome. Welcome to my
yes,
channel.
yes, Aman. Yes, nice to be here, and hopefully it'll
So, sir,
be useful
yes,
session for
yes.
everyone who's
So,
listening.
what are we learning today from you? Because I want to talk more about the medical part. I want to talk about Mother Nature part. So, sir, please tell us what we are learning today.
We can just, I think, start with the thing about, when people learn Jyotish, for example. Okay, because a lot of people are
Right,
interested in Jyotish now. Okay, so
right,
when people get interested in Jyotish, then people have to realize that it is a Vedic science. Okay, that
right,
Jyotish
right,
is a Vedic science. Okay, now if Jyotish is a Vedic science and you are into it, you know,
right,
you have faith in it, you
right,
agree with it, or you
right,
find it works, or if you have these kind of notions,
right.
then automatically the next step is that you will look into other Vedic sciences. Okay,
Exactly.
so
Yes.
and especially the one like Ayurveda, for example, which is to
Right,
do with the human body. Okay,
right,
so then you should look into that, and then if you look into Ayurveda and stuff, you will find so many things about human body
right,
which are different from the current medical system.
right,
Okay,
right, right,
so because a lot of people right now have faith in the current medical system around the world. Okay,
right, right,
so what I find that people who are into Jyotish
right,
and have gone into Jyotish
right.
are still having more faith in the current medical system
Then
than
the
Ayurveda.
right.
Okay,
Yes. Yes.
so which is a very surprising thing, because
Right.
if you're trusting one Vedic science, okay, and
Right.
you're getting into it, then
Right.
it should be logical automatically that you would pay more attention on to the other one and
Emphasis. Yes.
give
Yes.
more credence to the other science, and which will tell you that okay, that all diseases happen from imbalance
Right.
within one's body. It doesn't
Right.
happen from outside agents. Okay, it
Right.
doesn't happen from pathogens or outside agents. It
Right.
happens from your own diet, how you keep your body, what you're doing with it,
Exactly.
and imbalance in whatever you're doing. So then that gives a different kind of perspective on disease, the word disease in itself in the first place, and
Right.
everything else like that. So my point is that for people to understand this in kind of scenario we have, like the kind of situation around the world we have where there's so much
Closely.
fear of disease, right?
Yes.
The fear is of disease. Okay,
Yes.
so then they better understand what disease is in the first place. Okay, and
Right.
that is there in the Ayurveda part of Vedic sciences, which is
Right.
connected to Jyotish, and Ayurveda is also connected to Jyotish. It's not like
Yes.
it's disconnected. It's a
Yes.
very direct, clear connection.
Yes.
Science have nature bath with kaf, even the
Right.
nakshatras have primary
Right. Right.
element and everything. So there is a very direct connection and everything like that. So for me, like people who are getting into Jyotish, for them not to be able to get above the current medical system, which
System.
is mostly puts poisons into people and makes them
Right.
worse than what they were
Right.
before.
Right.
So that is a very strange thing, and I think more people need to look into that, and
Right.
that's just what I've noticed.
Right.
Because like now millions of people have gotten into Jyotish, but the
Yeah.
same millions have not translated into you
The
know
Ayurveda. Yeah.
yeah, and these things. So that's the first thing I would like to bring to light, just let's say, like put some
Absolutely.
light on it. That's why I spoke about this, so that some
Yes.
light is put
Yes.
on this.
Yes.
Should automatically be happening, and the same people running to doctors and putting the thing in so-called doctors, is a very strange thing, and it is like your responsibility, your health, it is
Right.
not. And if people actually learned about health and what it is and human body and everything from the Vedic perspective,
Perspective.
all this
Yes.
fear will disappear, actually, most of it, you know
Right.
so so all of that will, on a psychological level, will help. Okay, on a
Right.
physical level, it'll help on
Right.
every level, and it'll connect the two sciences if you are going into that. So this is the kind
Right.
of thing, and from there, obviously, connection with nature comes into
Yes.
play,
Yes.
because uh, in Ayurveda, the whole thing comes from imbalance of elements in your
Right. And
body.
I often see, sir,
Okay.
sorry to interrupt, I often see in your interviews also, you give a lot of emphasis on the diet, what we are taking in. And
Yes,
that's the part I really like, because a lot of people I also see that they are following good amount of scriptures and everything, but they are not focusing on their own daily habits, what they are
yes,
eating, what they are giving out, what they are taking in. So,
yes.
can you tell us more about that?
Okay.
Why it is more important?
Okay, and I think the what you're saying, the scriptures and stuff, when people if really understood scriptures at all, like the Vedic scriptures, for example, because
Right,
Vedic scriptures were taught by rishis. Okay, the beings were called rishis. Okay, now rishis, when they anybody first went to a rishi, any student or any disciple, they would first make them sit properly, like
right.
have a good posture, sit down on the ground. Okay, they were not benches or
Yes.
things like that.
Full
Okay, they were
Gurukul system. Yes.
yeah, yeah, but touching the ground where? Like they were touching the ground, right?
Right.
They were doing normal activities which make them connected to earth. They
Yes.
were actually learning to speak properly, ucharan. Okay,
Charan. Yes.
okay, okay, like which is control of human body through
Right.
like posture and then speech. Okay,
Right.
that was the first thing which was taught by the rishis. Okay, there was no nothing. They wouldn't teach anything else at all.
Wow.
That would be the 100% for everyone had to do that,
Right.
whether you are a prince or you are any person who comes there has to do the same thing.
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
so so,
Yeah.
so that was the case in
And
that
the
time. So that is
discipline
what
was
scriptures were.
so.
So if people are not following that, then what kind of scripture are they following? I mean, there is no question of any following any scriptures or any such thing, at all. you know because that is the very basic groundwork which
Right.
any
Right.
human being is supposed to do as per the Vedic system.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
which is made by the rishis, and the rishis are there, and they are the ones who are practicing that. They are teaching their disciples to practice that. Okay,
Right.
they're teaching. That is their first teaching. Okay,
Right. Right.
that is their primary teaching. So if you don't have the primary teaching, if you don't have the base, if you don't have that foundation,
Right.
then what are you actually learning
Learning.
on top?
Yeah.
And these sciences like Jyotish, Ayurveda, and all of that, they come afterwards. They would teach these systems and sciences later. Okay, once the foundation is laid. Now, what happens is that everybody runs into these things without establishing any foundation.
Right.
So they are not going as per any scriptural
Right.
thing per se
Yeah.
as a whole. Like, scriptures are not about these rituals. That is just Hinduism. Okay, what is
Right.
the ritual
Right.
things which it has devolved into? The Vedic system was more about actual discipline of the body
Yeah.
and self, not some like festivals and rituals and festivals and rituals. Okay.
Right.
For
Right.
them, every day was the same day. Okay.
Right.
Because they had to do the same discipline every day. So
Right.
for them, every day was a holy Diwali or Ram Navami, or like
Exactly.
no day changed for them. They
Yeah.
had to connect with nature every day. They have to take care of their posture every day. Every day they have to eat the right diet every day. There
Right.
is no change for
Right.
them, like 24/7, 365. Let's just say.
Right.
So that is what I consider a practice. Okay, a Vedic, a proper practice. Okay, so if a person is doing that, then only they are in any way doing any scriptural thing. And
Right.
so connecting with nature was automatic there, because these gurukuls were happening outside, under a tree, and they had more natural environments,
Right.
and they were obviously understanding that that is just a part, because the human body is made of the five element Panch Mahabhut, and
Yes.
Panch
Yes.
Mahabhut are outside. So
Yes.
there's an interaction happening between the internal and external, and
Right.
one needs to have that to
Right.
have health, or to have any kind of proper mental
Right.
functioning, or spiritual functioning, mind, body,
Right.
spirit. So
Right.
everything. So all of that was a very integrated system from the very core, basic, primary level. Okay,
Right.
and which is what needs to happen right now. So even if people start this at the age of whatever 20, 30, 40, they have to start
Right.
at nursery
Oh,
school,
wow.
like, because and what those beings would do at that time, in the when they are 4 or 5 years old. Okay.
right,
Now, because of our schooling system, nobody does it at age of 4 or 5 because the schooling system doesn't teach that. So then they have to do it at whatever age they awaken to the facts and truth.
right,
Okay. So
right,
yeah. That's what the thing is. And as far as coming like the rainbows and stuff we talked about and stuff,
right.
that is biofeedback, like nature feedbacking to you. But that is a more advanced stage of that thing. But one should start from a
Okay,
primary level. Like for example, touching the feet on the ground for 10,
right,
15 minutes every day. So which is I call grounding. Okay.
right,
So
right,
and it connects you to earth, and it is a good experience in all kinds of way, like from a physical point of view, and human body is an electrical equipment, so
right,
it needs its uh, like grounding, just like
right,
any
right,
equipment does. So um, and on top of that, psychologically also it humbles you, you know
right,
because being the more disconnected they are, the more bigger the boots they're wearing, the more ego they have,
right,
about
right,
so it brings you to the ground in more ways than one. Okay. So
right.
yeah, so it is a good thing, and that you can do anywhere on earth.
Yeah,
There's no
that's what I wanted to ask you. Is it
yeah.
only possible in the West, or we can do it in our homeland too?
Yes,
A
that's a
lot
good
of
point. You
people ask me that maybe you live in the West, that is why you are connected more to the nature. We cannot do it here. And I always often try to convince them, tell them that we can do it anywhere. You don't have to be in the West or East or North or South in order
yes,
to do that.
yes.
So how you take that part?
Aman, I would say to that is, for example, ground is everywhere. Like there's no place where people are staying where earth does not exist.
Right, right,
Okay, if they are standing somewhere, there must be some earth. Like
exactly,
even if they live in a flat on 10th floor, then there'll be
right,
some ground in front above.
exactly,
Like there will
right.
always be some ground somewhere of
Thank you
some
so
kind.
much for addressing this. Thank you
Yeah,
so
yeah,
much.
yeah. So there'll be some ground somewhere. Okay, and
Right,
on that ground you can touch your feet. Right.
right,
I mean, and
right,
that is connecting with nature. Okay.
right,
Yeah,
right,
I mean, and that is not a earth of east, west, north, or south, or anywhere. Earth is earth.
right.
Okay. When you touch,
Exactly,
when you touch
exactly.
your feet.
And you can
Okay.
watch, you can do stargazing, whatever you want to do, moon gazing from anywhere. You don't
Yeah,
need
I
to
mean,
be
yeah, it might
in
not
a
be that
particular.
clear like the sky in different parts, but you're
Right,
still looking at the sky. You know.
right,
So,
right,
so if you look at the sky, it might not be so clear somewhere, and because the things are more polluted, then obviously you can make the
right,
extra effort to move 5, 10 miles or 20 kilometers away
right,
where it's less. Okay,
right.
so but then you can't be lazy about that,
Yes,
but that
yes,
is the case anywhere, like about the whole thing. So
right.
where there is a will,
There is a
there
way.
is a way.
Yeah,
But the
yeah,
point is of the will, matters of the will here. It's not so much, and there's always the ways to connect with earth and the sky, you know,
right,
and pay attention to that, and pay attention to one's own body even properly, because that is
right,
also nature. What is your
right.
body except nature?
Yes,
Okay, so if you're taking care of your body properly and you're being responsible with it, then you are being natural and you are actually connecting with nature, like
right,
by doing that. So
right.
yeah. So
And also, sir, I want to ask you on this. When we connect with the nature, I still remember from our last segment which we did last year. You mentioned, especially when we spoke about nakshatras, we spoke about Jyotish, how they are all connected, especially the nakshatras, and that's what I take the initiative, whatever best I can do from my resources. I try to connect the nakshatras with the mother nature, and I try to present in a way so that a lot of people join me in that vision. So
yeah.
how nakshatras or not nakshatras, how our Jyotish are connecting us with our natural senses, which you have just
Senses,
mentioned.
yeah. That way, like if you have noticed my Facebook feed or something, if my
Yes,
pictures and
I
stuff.
often do
So,
that. Yeah,
so then whenever any nakshatra comes any day, you'll see my picture will be very similar to that nakshatra
right,
every
right,
time.
right,
Okay, so
right.
yeah, if it's Shravan, the blues will be there, or if it's
Yes, yes. I have
if
noticed
it's
that. Yes,
yeah, if it's Purva Falguni, then there will be some those red flowers or roses or that kind of thing. Or
right,
so as per the day of the week
right, right,
or as per the nakshatra, obviously those energies are there, So they are
Yes.
assisting that process. Okay, so your connection will happen within that zone more easier.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and I have, I think, shown that over like so many years now, over and over in repeated cycles.
Right.
So if people see my things in that thing, they can keep on looking and find out. And
Yes.
best is to actually observe that thing. And once
That's
you
it.
observe
That's
from
what I
that, you get
wanted to.
more of a sense of what it is, rather
Yes.
than speaking. Because say they say a picture speaks more than 1,000 words. Like
Yes.
that is
Yes.
more than 1,000 words. So that's like I would ask people to actually watch those
Yes.
things rather than there's nothing I can say here which will convey
What
what
we are
that is
experiencing.
what that is
Yes.
communicating or conveying. So
Yes.
that's what I would suggest for that. And I think I've done a lot of that thing in that. So people should look into that
Yes.
and pay attention. Again,
Yes.
attention is everything. So
Yes.
that's all what human beings have, you know
Yes.
that's only
Yes.
you know so that is
No,
one tool.
it's amazing because I also want to take this opportunity and tell the audience, just like Prash sir mentioned, that on each and every nakshatra day, because whenever I get the opportunity, I also follow him. And I see that how beautifully he is um, synced, beautifully synced with the nature. And you have mentioned about the observation part because it is, which I also keep telling the audience, it is all the game of observation,
Yes.
especially the observing these energies each and every day, where whenever the moon is
Yeah.
transiting in certain nakshatras.
Yeah.
So we don't do it intentionally. It is just that the energies are beautifully synced with that moment,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
we just capture that, right, sir?
Yes, and obviously that, and the more you get connected and then then obviously you have a closer relationship with nature, then it happens more easily, because
Right, right,
but all of that takes time to develop. You have to actually develop it, like, just
right,
like how you develop a relationship with another human being, it takes
right,
time to develop. The same will apply to nature too,
right,
so
right.
it
Yeah,
it
you
is the
have to
same
make
thing.
a bond. You have to make a
Bond, yeah,
connection.
you have to create a bond. And like you start taking a step, then there's step from that side, then you take a step, and then step from other side, like, so there's a that's how it works out, and the basic thing is actually, like, once you are saying that I want better for myself, okay, or if you are having positive, I want to evolve, or this kind of things, then nature and universe and multiverse, the energy is more cooperative with you
Yes,
when you have that kind of attitude. Okay,
yes,
so that attitude matters a lot in
lot.
this.
Yes,
Yeah. So it has to be positive attitude, like you can't be negative about it. Oh, does it work, doesn't really work, what, like, I mean, and you can't be goalless about the whole thing, you know
right,
where you're not sure you were wanting good for yourself or anything like that, or you want to evolve, or those kind of things. Those are the things which come in the way
right,
of this connection.
right,
Okay,
right,
and one should be ready to be disciplined again, like not run away from discipline. Okay,
right.
whether in
Yeah,
diet, whether in posture, whether in speech, and all these things, and which is like which is called centering, which I call centering, and
right.
which is what people call meditation now. Okay,
Yes,
like, yeah,
yeah.
the centering has a name called meditation. Medi means
Meditation.
center,
Right.
centration. Okay. So
I
it's
love
centration.
how you connect all these words. I always admire that.
Yes. So it's centration. Meditation is centration. Okay. So like we are having some LotusOcean classes online now, like, because most
Okay,
people are online, they can't go out and stuff right now.
go.
So
Yeah.
so we can give a link in this, below this talk, in the
Okay.
description,
Yes,
for that
yes.
LotusOcean meditation, and people can start with that. I think that'll be a good start for
Right.
people to start doing that, and then they can understand the discipline. And I think those kind of basics should be done first, even before you
Right.
approach nature. Okay,
Exactly. Yeah.
so you start with that, and then like, once you have your body more in control, your mind more in control, and then you
Then
are
so yeah.
dealing with nature, then everything happens much more smoothly and easily. And
Right.
you don't get that frustration
Right.
element which you
Right.
might experience other times, so, and
Right.
negativity. Yeah.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah.
And I
Yeah.
also want to tell the audience, it might sound weird to few ones. Sir, what I have seen, I always tell people that if you really want to learn about nakshatras, if we talk about nakshatras, you start connecting with moon each and every day it is transiting.
Yes.
And I have seen what people tell me. There are certain people out there, they started doing the moon gazing, they started making that bond, lot of their problems got vanished.
Yes.
They got more mental stability just by doing simple this stargazing
Yes.
or moon gazing thing.
Yes.
How amazing is that? And how
Yes.
powerful it can be.
Yes, even my book, Nakshatra book, which obviously started all the whole
It's
Nakshatra
it's
thing,
it's
which
a
made
encyclopedia.
it brought Nakshatras to
Encyclopedia.
light basically in the
Yes,
current
yes,
day
yes.
age. Every word of each nakshatra in it is written on when moon has passed through that nakshatra in that.
Oh wow.
Like
Okay,
not
I
a
never
single
knew that.
word, not a single word has been okay. So Anuradha cannot be written about in Swati, and Swati is
Right.
not written about in Anuradha. Swati was written when moon is in Swati, and
Okay.
uh, and
Okay.
Anuradha was written when moon is in Anuradha. Not one word
Oh
is
really?
not of that
Okay.
nakshatra. Okay, so
Wow. I
so
never knew that thing.
okay, but
So
now
thank you.
now you know.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Thank you for
Yeah,
sharing. And I want to
yeah,
tell the audience because a lot of people ask me because whatever little I know about nakshatras,
yes,
lot of reference. I take it from Prash Sir's book.
yes,
So if because they asked me that what book should I follow, so follow Prash Trivedi's book on nakshatras. It is,
yeah,
I would say, it's an encyclopedia.
yeah. I
That
mean,
it's
and
it's amazing.
yes, that's the whole thing about nakshatras because that's how I got to know about them myself. Okay, because that by focusing and observing each day
Yes,
as per the
yes,
that
yes.
thing, and because there's no literature there available in BPHS, there is nothing about nakshatras. There's just the
Right,
names.
right. In
That's
what,
all.
in which year you wrote that book, sir?
It was 2002 and 2003 it came
Okay,
out.
okay,
So so
okay. At
so
that time, there was not many more books. I'm pretty
no,
sure,
there's nothing.
especially
There was
on
not,
nakshatras.
there was nothing. There was no book on Nakshatra.
Wow.
It was the first. So at the
Oh,
time,
it
yeah.
was the first. Okay.
Yeah. So that is the thing which started the whole thing. I mean, before that, people used to only see Rashi in all
Right. Yes,
astrology.
signs.
Yeah, signs,
Yes.
and nobody was seeing Nakshatras. Like
Sir,
nobody cared.
sir, now we are talking more about nakshatras. I would love to know, which I always wanted to know on a personal basis as well. In your book, you have mentioned about if I think yours is the only book where I have read if someone is having Sun and Ketu conjunct, that is all that might also give the similar effect of Maga. How you came to that interpretation? I have
Okay,
not found anywhere written that. Like
okay,
certain
okay,
planet
okay,
coming together, giving the flavor of certain nakshatras, regardless you
okay,
have those nakshatras or not. Please,
okay,
please tell me
okay,
more about
okay.
that.
Okay, so if you look at the sign Leo, okay, it's ruled by the sun. Okay,
Right,
now Maga's Leo's first degrees, 0 to 13 degrees, is Maga.
right,
Okay,
right,
0 degree to
right,
13 degree of Leo. Now that is ruled by Ketu. Okay, Maga is ruled by
right,
Ketu. Okay,
right.
and the sign is ruled by Sun. So it is combination of Sun and Ketu energy then. That particular 13 degrees of Leo. Okay,
Yes, yes,
so if Sun Ketu, so if you have Sun Ketu conjunction,
right.
which is basically replicating the energies of
That
that
energy.
Magha nakshatra
Right.
area of Leo,
Right.
which so I will call it like it's Magha, close to Magha
No,
nakshatra.
I have actually tested this in my
Yes,
research, and I asked certain people where they have no planets in Maga, but they have this combination, Saturn
yes,
Ketu. And I asked them things related to Maga. 9 out of 10 times they said yes, it is working.
yes,
And
like
I
and
found nowhere mentioned this
yes,
formula
yes,
which you have given in your book,
yeah,
which is
yeah,
amazing.
yeah, which can be applied to other things like if Sun and Venus are there, then it'll be like
Right.
Purva Fabuni mode,
For
like
yes,
yeah, yeah. So
yes,
Sun Venus conjunction. So it can be applied to that things, and it is obviously a thing which people don't realize because this is because finally every system in nature has to be logical. So if there is
exactly.
any combination happening, then it has to reflect everywhere. It's like a fractal. It branches everywhere. Things are not disconnected. And
Yes,
the way things are taught right now are in a very disconnected fashion. Like Ayurveda is disconnected from Jyotish, is disconnected from
Jyotish. Yes,
Vastu, is disconnected from
yes,
other kind of things, which is not how any science
right,
really functions. Okay,
right,
so the correlations is how things work actually, in nature.
right.
So. and
It,
people have to understand that. Like, so that is just
uh,
one way of, yeah.
it's a it's a big I don't believe in coincidences. Just yesterday, I was having a big lecture on Ayurveda because few years back, I was in Kottakkal in Kerala, and that place itself is many people call it a birthplace for Ayurveda. And I was thinking of writing a small article on it that how, if anyone is looking for connecting to one aspect of Jyotish, or because my first spiritual experience, I got it from that Ayurveda place. And
Yes,
today we are talking about that. So
yes,
how amazing it is. So again,
yes,
it is connecting more to the nature, or connecting, synchronizing more to the nature, and how your thoughts combine with each other. It is amazing.
yes,
I cannot
yes,
believe we are talking about that today. And I
yes,
just
and
spoke about that 4 or 5 hours on that.
yes, 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 and Ayurveda also again should be taken from a basic core level where and where prevention is better than cure. It's not the modern Ayurveda we are interested in. Modern Ayurveda is more about business and just selling people
Commercial
more
angle. Yeah.
more tablets. Okay, that's
Right.
that's not
Right.
real Ayurveda. Okay, just like
Right.
what is taught in Jyotish right now is not real Jyotish. Most of the things what people are telling people, all these new rules and that things, everyone comes up with something or the other, and and people are given all this info, which is not real or anything like that, but people are saying anything, and
Right.
people, and all of that, the cure for everything is actually connecting with nature, because once you connect with nature, you will develop this natural common sense, which
Yes.
can tell you
Yes.
that this is
Yes.
sensible, sensical, or this is not. Okay.
Not.
And
Yeah.
you have to develop that discrimination yourself before you go into these sciences. Okay.
Right.
And why a lot of chaos is happening in Ayurveda and Jyotish and everything is because people don't have that natural sense, and they're not connected, they're disconnected from nature. So all kinds of craziness is going on and chaos is going on because of that. Okay. If more
Right.
and more people connected with nature and they became more natural and they develop their natural sense, and which is called buddhi and discrimination, which
Right.
develops as a result, then they can actually tell themselves that, okay, this doesn't make any sense, okay, or this
Right.
makes sense, okay. And that's how it should be, like, and that movement towards natural common
Senses.
sense
Yeah.
is what the movement towards nature is, prakriti, because there is uh, in the Vedic thing, there's either prakriti or paramatma. There is only
Right.
two
Right.
two things, okay, and prakriti is all around you, and which you
Right.
can observe and notice within your own self and your own body. So connecting with that is the first step,
No,
for
I
sure.
remember you
So
mentioned you can find Mother Nature or Prakriti even in a desert. You don't
yeah,
need to go anywhere, or
yeah,
you
even
you
it
can't
isn't.
keep bragging about it or complaining about it all the time that you don't have it. Right.
Yeah, I mean, even in a desert, like, you can see the sky, right? In desert you can get a very clear sky.
Right. Right.
I
Now,
mean,
yeah, in
all,
India, a lot of tourism is based on Rajasthan and Jaipur in the belt
yeah,
of
yeah,
that.
yeah. In desert you get more clearer sky, actually,
Right.
and a lot of
Right.
the constellation observations are much
Are
easier.
done over there. Yes. Yes.
Even in American stuff, they're in more Arizona and desert areas. That's where they
Yes.
do
Yes.
most of
Yes.
the
Yes.
observational
Yes.
things. So skies are clearer. So there will always be an advantage everywhere of
Right.
different kind. But people just have to, like, actually have the will to connect. I think it's the
To
will which
connect.
is
Yes.
lacking, and then then they blame the place or the
Other
space
things.
or anything
Yes.
like that. I
Yes.
think the
So
problem
in the
lies with
end,
the will.
again, the bhav, the intent matters. Right.
Yeah, yeah. And like, for will only come when you want to evolve and when you want better for yourself, and when you understand that you are a being and you want to raise yourself
Uplift. Yeah.
higher, and that's the only time the will to do the right thing, or anything. And once you get into all of that, I think people can get away above all kind of addictions as well, and these kind of things. There are a lot of things one can
Right.
get over through connecting
Right.
with nature. And so that it is like a multi sort of solution, like,
Yeah.
as a
Yeah.
singular solution for multiple issues.
Issues. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, let's just call it that, like, and especially people who are getting into Jyotish and stuff, like, that's why a lot of people who come to your channel and everything like that, and
Right.
they definitely need to understand this, that there is no study of Jyotish or anything possible without connecting
Right.
with nature. Okay.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I would not suggest that to anyone, because whatever I saw of Jyotish without that is so hocus
Yeah,
pocus
yeah, it's
that
useless.
that it is not anything worth pursuing. So,
Yeah.
uh, and
No,
it is going to be good for your health too. Okay, I mean, it's
yeah,
not like just it'll help you in this. So anytime people get interested in any of these sciences, they have to do this and
right,
reject wherever that is not happening. Even if an
right,
Ayurvedic person is there, for example, and they are not connected to nature, then you can very well understand that there's no real Ayurveda happening. Okay,
right,
you know, yeah.
right.
So yeah, so it
And
helps.
because I can totally relate to that because the place which I was talking about, the Kotika, in that ashram, in one of the rejuvenation process, they make you roam around in a mother nature a lot every day.
Yes,
That is a part of their treatment actually, and
yes,
that exactly we are talking about today. How important it is.
yes,
So
yes. I mean,
it's amazing.
yes, yes, yes. I mean, obviously, because if there's no connection with nature happening, or if that is not teaching you to connect with nature, that is not Ayurveda for sure. If you're just saying that
Right.
you stay in your apartment and just swallow this
Take
tablet,
take the
5 of these
capsules.
or
Yeah.
5 of that, and then that's okay, that's Ayurveda, then that is not,
Right.
unfortunately, Ayurveda. Okay, like so.
Right.
So that is definitely, so this is what the whole thing is in regards to all these things, that uh,
Right.
doing this is a very basic grounding thing for everything, you know and in
Right.
these times where people are so scared about disease and all kinds of things, and the common sense, like people like right now don't even understand that wearing a mask is harmful for you.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so
Please.
it's a
Please
common sense,
address
like,
that too.
yeah, like your breath which is coming out,
Right.
it goes back in. Okay,
Right.
I mean, that is not healthy for any human being
Yes.
and it will cause disease. In fact, rather than stopping disease, it will cause you
Yeah.
problems.
It is
But
already happening.
it's already happening. So point like that, this is all of these things people have to understand through connection to nature only. Like people who are connected to nature will automatically understand this. Okay, they won't have to be told or taught. Okay,
Thought.
okay. So and then that way, like a lot of the nonsense can be cut out from your life
Yeah.
automatically. So
Right.
so it is in it, and people should understand this like in a very very clear thing. They think that none of these things, if you want to learn anything, if you want to be better, if you want to be more healthy, if you want to improve, if you want to have any kind of mental enlightenment or any kind of thing, this is the first step. Okay,
Yeah.
and it's a necessary step, and it's non-negotiable. Let's just say
Yeah.
it's not like, okay, can I skip this one? Okay.
And I think it has
Yeah,
become more vital in 2020, I would say,
yeah,
especially
yeah,
with
yeah,
this
yeah,
pandemic and everything,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah.
How
And now
you
the
take
people's
that?
eyes should be opening. And this is just to open people's eyes. Okay, now people have to make a choice.
Yeah.
Either you
Yeah.
go that way
Or this.
or
Yeah.
you go this way. Okay, you have to clearly make a choice. So when people are pushed into a corner, sometimes it's better for people because otherwise they dilly dally and don't make a choice. Okay,
Right.
but when they're pushed in a corner, then you have to make a choice, because one is that thing of root of all this paranoia and fear and nonsense. Other is the root of actual enlightenment, and which is
Right.
called corona means enlightenment. Okay, that is the,
Oh, oh, really? Okay.
yeah, yeah, the word corona in Greek means
Okay.
hail.
I did not
you
knew
know
that.
okay, so when you see these gods,
Right.
where they have this
Yeah.
shown with this
Yeah.
halo
Oh,
behind.
yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
that
Yes.
is corona.
Corona. Yes. 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 Oh, I never thought it in that way. Yes.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
so either you can go towards that, or you can go in that thing where you are going into all this fake medical system, and
Right.
about where it's about pathogens and stuff, like, and even Ayurveda, always tells, poisons can enter your body only through either you eat something, or
Or
or through a syringe or something like that.
yeah.
Like how a snake puts its poison by biting
Right.
you, and then you know
Right.
you know so what vaccines do now, you know
Right.
so all of these things, that's the only way poison can get into your body, toxin, but no
Right.
other way. So
Right.
so people, if they went into Ayurveda, they will learn a lot of things and
Right.
themselves and stuff like that, which will give clarity for people,
Right.
those who want clarity.
Yeah,
like
those
of
who want clarity. Yeah, that's the
those who
main
want
thing.
clarity. The clarity is there to be had, like in those sciences. So, and again, it's about connecting with nature and going into Vedic sciences, so.
Right.
And Jyotish, I think, was just a good starting point for people, because everybody gets interested in learning their chart and learning more about themselves and their birth chart. It is appealing for people.
Appealing. Yes.
Yeah, it's appealing. So, but it's a starting point for going into the holistic Vedic,
Approach.
uh,
Yeah.
connecting with nature, and then from there connecting with
No,
divine.
every time, sir, whenever I get the opportunity, I'm more um,
Mm.
active on the Instagram. I follow your posts, and every time I see, maybe on some other time, or maybe if you have few minutes, I would love to know about your connection with the rainbows. Why you are so fascinated? I always see that you're very fascinated and connected with the rainbows. What's the mystery behind that?
Okay, I think it's not that I'm fascinated by that. Actually, they just happen in my presence.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
yeah,
yeah,
they just happen to, like, wherever
exactly.
I'm them, like people don't see that many rainbows around them around the world. Like if a person
No,
sees one or
no.
two in a year, that is quite a lot.
Yes,
For
yes.
for me, two or three can happen just in a week. Okay,
Wow,
so yeah,
wow.
so the whole thing is that rainbow is a sign of nature at its glorious best in the sky,
Colors, yes.
and it is called Indradhanush in Sanskrit.
Indradhanush, yes,
Okay, Indra is the king of the elementals, devas.
yes,
Okay,
yes.
so his bow, Dhanush means bow.
Bow, yes.
Okay, so when a bow is comes, that means it's a sign of higher forces and sign of divine. Okay, okay.
Wow, wow.
So and in the, like, Judeo-Christian cultures, rainbow was considered a covenant from God that earth will never be flooded again, be destroyed by flood again. Okay.
Okay,
Okay, so
right.
even if you look at it from that point of view, it is that,
Yes.
if you look at it from the Vedic point of view, that it's the Indra's Dhanush, that means it's the divine celestial bow.
Bow,
Okay,
yes, yes.
okay. So it is the high point of nature, where when nature, all conditions have to get right for a rainbow to happen, you know.
Right.
So in fact, air has to get fractal
Exactly.
around the place
Yes,
where rainbow has to happen. Okay, so
right,
when you are in that presence, then that means you are in that environment, enriched, air, fractal, fairy, fire, airy environment,
right.
so which is like a reflection of your own internal coherence, which comes out as that your presence creates that in the sky. Okay,
Wow.
so that is what the connection is,
Connection
actually.
is.
So
Right.
like
Yeah,
that's, yeah, so it is your own internal heart open rainbow nature,
right,
which then
right.
reflects on in the sky, like so that's what the connection is. Then uh, you have to, when you observe that, when anyone looks at a rainbow, even a normal person, uh, then they feel good immediately, right? Like no person feels bad seeing a rainbow,
Yes,
like
yes.
even a normal person, if they just they might be, whatever mood they might be in, okay, they might be in
Exactly.
any kind of mood, if they see a rainbow,
Yes,
then the spirits will lift
yes, yes.
automatically. It'll
Automatically.
happen, like it'll automatically happen. So that is what, because it's a divine celestial sign, it is a sign for upward, that these divine exists, there is celestial realm, there's Indra, there is heaven, there's higher lokes, there is something to strive for, there's so much to it,
So
you know
beautifully you have mentioned that.
yeah,
So
yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. So there is so much to it. So it is all for going higher and higher higher words, basically
I was.
highward journey,
Right,
so that's the whole point, like, about, like that's what they say, gold at the end of the rainbow, or you know
right,
and
right,
all these sayings are there to show that it is always to do with the quest
right.
towards going high.
High, high in
Okay,
life.
and that's what the job of a human being is on earth. Okay, okay, like that is to raise themselves higher. I mean, there is no
High.
other job per se of a
Right, sir.
human being. People think they might have this job or that job. That is not it.
Right,
Whatever jobs exist in this world are not real jobs.
right,
Only job is to raise yourself higher. That is your only real
right,
job. That's what you, by human form, is given. That's what the multiverse expects from you.
right.
So rainbow can be seen as a symbol for all of that. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Beautiful, sir. Beautiful.
Yeah,
And I would say thank you so much because I was looking forward to this session because where I really wanted you to address each and everyone on the Mother Nature part because they always often ask me that why it is so important, why you are posting pictures of plants, trees, and
yeah,
skies.
yeah.
So I think now after this segment they will get more clarity to it.
Yes,
Why
yes, yes,
the the minimum eligibility in order to go and talk about Jyotish is
yeah,
before we do that, it is
yeah,
in order to connect with nature first.
yes, yes,
Anushasan, the discipline is more important, which
yeah,
all the gurukuls back in the days used to teach first.
yes, 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 yes,
So
yes,
then maybe in the other segments or in the future segments, we can talk a little more about the higher version of the Jyotish,
yeah.
higher version in the means like in the like more advanced level. But we
Secondary
have to
stuff,
start,
like
yes,
secondary stuff. That I call
yes,
it secondary stuff. Yeah.
secondary stuff, yes.
Oh,
But
yes.
we have to start from here first, the base
And they
level.
can, and then people can look into the meditation thing. I would think that is the Lotus Ocean
Yes, I
meditation.
will put the link below for that. Yes,
Okay, and that is, I think, a very good start for people to first
right.
um,
No,
get centered. Yeah,
thank you, especially in this pandemic part. You took the time out and especially putting the limelight to Ayurveda.
yeah,
Just like you mentioned, everybody's more focused on the fancy pills are coming
yes,
out these days in the name of
yes, yes,
herbal science and herbal this and herbal that. But it
yes,
is very important to know that how herbal we are deep inside to connect with the nature first,
yes, yes,
right?
yes, yeah. That's the most
So
herbal thing to do.
most important. And that is
Yes,
where I connect more with you because I see, because that's what I have learned from you. That's
yes,
what I have learned. We never met, but that's what I have keep learning from your vibrations, how you connect with the nature. And that's what I keep doing.
yes,
That's
yes,
where
Aman.
I have learned. It's just a basic game of observations, what you
Yes,
observe each and every day. I often tell people, take 30 days out, just like we get the manufacturing 30-day warranty or 30-day this, you do 30-day observations.
yes, yes,
You will learn more about the nature and automatically the nakshatras or whatever knowledge you want to gain, you will get it.
yes, yes. But
So
you have to actually do the work. You can't
yes,
just
will just,
hypothesize about it. It is to be done. It is actually has to be done. It has to be.
right,
It's not a mental thing. It's an
right.
actual action, physical action you
You
have to
have
take.
to take the initiative. You have to take
Yeah,
the will, just like Prash
yeah.
sir mentioned. Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, sir. It's
Yes.
always a privilege and honor to hear directly
Yes.
from you. So it's an honor, sir. Thank you.
Okay.